Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to do part 2 of the MailerLite series. Part 1 was basically setting up your MailerLite account and creating your first opt-in form, which is normally on your sidebar or maybe a pop-up. And it is just the basic, hey, sign up to be on my email list or subscribe to my blog. So today we're going to go a step further and create a form, which will be basically the same type of form. But in this one, you're going to set it up to where once they opt in or once they enter their email, that you're going to provide them with something. And we call that a freebie or a lead magnet. And the way we're going to do it is to kind of comply with GDPR. And for everyone, you should know, GDPR is really specifically for those in the EU. However, I highly recommend using it across the board because it actually does help your click-through rate for the subscribers that are on your list. If you followed any of my email tutorials, I talk a lot on ensuring you have a list that is quality, and so having a super large list in which only like a third of the people are actually opening your emails is really a waste of time and a waste of space. And so this is just actually another way to ensure that the people on your list are actually the ones that are interested in what your blog or the content that you're creating. They want more of it. And so with opt-in freebies, you're basically creating something of value and giving it away for free to your audience. It could be something like a downloadable template, a downloadable guide, checklists, a small ebook, and preview of an actual paid product you have. So if you have, say, an ebook that you wrote, you could do a preview of like the first 3 chapters, and that could be the freebie to kind of get them to maybe want to buy your actual book. It could also be a link to a password protected page, like a resource page or something like that that you have on your blog. And the only way to access it is with the password that you give them in the email. So these are just all different ways to, one, provide value to your audience, let them know of what kind of things that you have to offer, and entice them to sign up for your email list. And that way, when they do go through these added steps, you know that they want to be there and that they most likely will be opening your emails. Okay, so let's hop over here. So I've actually already created one where it's all set up. That way it'll take less time for this tutorial. And so basically, just like we did before, you would go and you would create a new form. It could be a pop-up or a landing page or an embedded form. So we're going to use a regular, this one that I've set up for free stock photos. It's actually not a live, I don't have it set up anywhere on my blog. I'm just using it for the training. And so you would set it up. Again, the ones we talked about before was, to subscribe to your blog. I mean, outright, plain and simple, you're going to sign up to get emails from me. So with this type of form, it's not so much apparent that they're going to be added to your email list. It's you giving them something in exchange for their email. And then we'll get to the part of where the GDPR compliance comes in just a minute. So, this one is pretty bland and not very colorful, but I would recommend dressing it up a bit, maybe an image in the background. But, what is it that you're giving them? Don't just say, sign up below for my free book or for my this or that. Say what it is. For this one, it's a list of 20 places to get amazing free stock images for your blog. Any new blogger who's trying to brand and do all this stuff without spending a ton of money would love to have this. If you are giving something like, say, a checklist or other downloadable, template of sorts, say what it is and what value, what purpose they're going to benefit. How are they going to benefit from getting this free thing? It's great that you're giving away free stuff, but how is it going to benefit the reader? And that's what entices them to actually want to get it from you. And so once they enter their email address, just like we went through the steps, making sure it's a double opt-in. And so for mine, I actually have it set up here. We're going to change this, edit, So we have all of these different, okay. So from here on my thank you message, so when they enter the email and hit access the free stuff, then another little box will pop up and it'll say, awesome, check your email. The link to access the free images is on its way to your inbox. Make sure you tell them to go check their email. And so over here, you would have assigned it to the group. You know, we're doing the test group. So this is the folder that's going to go in the actual group of emails for this particular freebie. So if you're doing multiple groupings and sending specific emails to specific groups, then you would definitely make sure that you have it on the right one. All right, so now, okay, so how do you provide the freebie to them? So one of the things with GDPR, it says that you cannot, if you're offering something as a freebie, you can't make giving you their email a requirement for the freebie, okay? And so, you know, there are ways around that as far as wording and things like that. And if you really want to delve into that, that's great. But studies have shown, statistics prove that being very open and honest and, you know, doing it in this manner, you actually will end up with a more profitable and productive email list. Okay, so your confirmation email. So they go check their email. Subject line, here are your free stock images. Don't say, please confirm your subscription or anything like that for this particular type, because you want them to know, hey, this is the free stock images. Now, in the email itself, you know, the other one just had, by confirming above, you're granting permission, blah, blah, blah. So I still have that in here. However, I have it towards the bottom. And before I even give them their freebie, I'm like, hey, before you access the library of images, I want to let you know about getting on my email list. I send out a monthly newsletter covering various blogging news and information. And every Monday I send out blogging tips that are specifically for new bloggers to help you get your blog up and making money. I'll also send out a quick email when any of your favorite blogging tools are on sale, because I'm all about doing things without spending a ton of money. And this is where you can get a little personal, but still it's really just a snapshot. It's not like this super huge long email. If you'd like to get more helpful blogging tips throughout the month, just click the button below before you head off to sort through those free stock images. If not, just scroll to the bottom of the page and access your free goodies. So I put that button here before I give them the link to the freebies. You know, it's kind of a psychological thing. I'm still giving them the goods, but I want to make sure they go opt in first if they want more of what I'm offering. And let me tell you, you will get some people who will scroll straight to the bottom and click to get the goods, and they will not confirm their subscription, and that's okay. But I created this freebie, and, you know, people are just, you know, getting it, and I'm not getting anything in return. That's okay. You can't expect that everyone is going to follow you and want to be on your email list. And so if you know, in a given week, have 10 people click on to subscribe to get this freebie, and you only end up with 3 new people on your list, those are 3 people that are actually going to read your emails later. So don't get so caught up in the fact that people are just coming and getting your freebie and you're not getting anything out of it, because you're never going to have 100%. That's just not even a possibility. And so you're going to lose a little bit here, but in the long run, what you end up with is going to be quality. So I still have that basic thing that confirming above, they're granting permission to receive my emails, and this is what my emails are going to have in them. Here's my privacy policy, all the stuff that I had in the regular opt-in form. And then the very last thing, as promised, click here to access the list of free stock images. So for mine, it's simply a URL I created on a page template in my blog, and it's all the places that you can get free stock images when you're first getting started. But if you had like a downloadable thing that you had saved in, like in Google, or if you use Dropbox or whatever, so from like your Google Drive, or if you have Dropbox or one of those other types of cloud drives, your stuff that's in here will actually have, let's just say this one here. And so if you right click on it, you can get a shareable link. And that sharing is on. And then anyone with this link can view this thing. So if it's like an Excel or Word or something like that, they can't edit it, they can view it, and that's what you want. And so we copy it. Oops. We come back over here, and you would simply enter that thing that you just copied. Like here on mine, it's actually linked to the page on my blog, but you would just paste that link right here into this. Make sure it opens in a new window. That way it doesn't take them away from the email completely. Hit OK, and then when they click this, then the document that you're giving them will pop up. And you know, if you have 3 or 4 things that you're giving them, then you would just add each individual link. And so it's really that simple. Hopefully they will click, yes, I want more, and that confirms their subscription to your blog. And then you have the final email, which is the confirmation thank you. Whoops, click on that. And it just, for mine, for this one, you know, again, make it personal. One of the key things with your emails, and we've talked about this before, aside from your branded image that should be on every email, you know, create one in Canva. It's free. And, you know, this way they come to recognize your emails. But also in how you write. You know, for me, woohoo, I'm always saying stuff like that. But I write how I speak. And so keeping that personal little piece to it really helps build that community that you're trying to get with the people signing up. And so then I just let them know what to expect. Over the next few days, I'll be sending you 2 more emails loaded with more free resources to help get your blog started. After that, you'll see me in your inbox every Monday morning and on the 1st of the month. And then I let them know about my Facebook community and how they, you know, they just click there and they can join. And then I have links to all my social media. I have that on every email as well. And so that's it. It is super easy to create these freebies in MailerLite. And so now we're going to go back to the form. So once you're all done with it, everything's set up and good to go, you want this wherever it is going to be. If it's going to be in your sidebar, if you're going to add it into a blog post. So in a sidebar, just like we did for the one in part 1, you would, either one of these codes, you would copy this and paste it into the widget for your sidebar or wherever you're placing it. If you wanted to paste it within the content of a blog post, let's go up here to a post. Then you would, just like you add any other piece of text or piece of code, you would go to wherever it is that you want it. For instance, here, you would click over to the text view, and then you would copy either of these. I always just use a JavaScript. Copy that, paste it into here. And when you look at it from this view, it'll probably just be like a little box. But when you preview, then it'll show up how you want it to view. And so that is how you add it to your blog. It's the same thing for how you added it to your sidebar. You would just paste it into the actual text of your blog post. And so you can also, you know, if like the very last paragraph of a blog post, if you didn't want to put this whole thing here, or maybe you had this up higher in the post towards the front or beginning, and you wanted to remind them, you could just write a simple statement, you know, a last sentence that says, don't forget to get your free stock photos here, and then hyperlink free stock photos here, and use this actual URL to hyperlink it to. And that way when they click on this, this box will pop up for them and they can go through the steps. And you can send this out to, via email. If you're using like your own personal email, not the one associated with your blog, you can use this to, just kind of add to what's on your signature line to let people know you have this other thing going on. It's a great way to expand the reach of where your blog is being promoted. So that's it. It's super, super simple. You may notice on my website, I actually only use my MailerLite boxes in my sidebar. Right here. And for my post, I actually use a plugin called the Optin Monster. And I use it just because visually they're better. But if you're not ready to upgrade and start spending more money yet, staying with MailerLite is completely okay. But when you are ready to really start adding some bells and whistles, Optin Monster, it's like you pay one time and then you have the subscription for the year. But you're just able to make these boxes look a lot nicer and add images and do some really cool things with it. So I will be doing an Optin Monster tutorial in part 3 for those of you who may want to add that to your blogs. So that's it. I hope this was helpful. Please leave some comments below, and if you have any questions, you know where to find me.